Hi, I'm Christine. Welcome to a video that is dedicated to the color yellow. As you might imagine, for a warm associated color like yellow, warmer groups of natural coloring or seasons have lots of choices. Cooler types of coloring or seasons have fewer choices. They have lots of choices in the cool type colors like blue and purple, the way we saw in our recent navy blue video. But we all have yellow inside ourselves, and we all have beautiful yellows that we can wear. We're like colored objects in that we absorb certain wavelengths and reflect others back out. And in our case, we reflect out all kinds of different colors, but we don't always register them consciously. Well, we are as sensitive to color vibration as we are to sound vibration, meaning we register them subconsciously. Well, picture our colors were on the outside of us, like we're a tree with all these beautiful leaves, all in different versions of the colors that are also inside of us. What are you going to hang on your tree? This is a beautiful tree. These leaves are already in harmony. Are you going to go with what's there? Because it already works so well. That harmony is called season or group of natural coloring. The reason that harmony can move mountains in a recipe, a melody, or a whole appearance is that we see beauty as a unified whole. We don't listen to music and pick out every note. For some reason, it comes together and creates this energy, this vibration. Something resonates with us that is very powerful. So if you wear two of your colors, 1 + 1 = 2, well, then you're building up speed. You got momentum going on. Compound interest, like a logarithmic curve. Slow to get going, but every little thing you add, pretty soon that curve is really steep and it shoots straight up. So now all of a sudden your outfit is more than the sum of its parts. So today we are going to look at yellow for the 12 groups of natural coloring, talk about what makes it beautiful, and all of the panels we're going to look at were made at your style. The shopping links and the panels, if you want to see them enlarged, are also at your style and linked in the description box. Here's our first panel, and we're going to look at yellow for the 12 seasons. Yellow as a color strikes us as bright, and because it's light, it moves forward. So things can seem closer or larger than they are. So let's start with spring at the top. Spring is a buttery, clear yellow, fairly bright, gentle at the same time. There's nothing neon about this color. And true spring is the warmest of the springs, so the yellow is kind of peachy. You could see that it's moving closer to orange than it is to green, for example. Light spring, next one over, is a neutral coloring, so it's between warm and cool, although tending more to the warm side, so it's called warm neutral or neutral warm. And these neutral seasons have cooler and warmer versions of all of their colors, including yellow. Yellow's not as warm as true spring and not as bright. It softens down because summer is coming into the picture here. In fact, you can see the neighbor group of light summer below and see the color is a little softer still. Softer means a little less pigment. It's less of a yellow. Could a light summer wear the cooler of the light spring tees up on the left, the one that is tending a bit towards green? Well, sure they could. Spring wears yellow easily. And the basics that type of coloring is looking for, light, cool, medium, soft, they're all there. Keeps light summer happy. Bright spring, this is the coloring type where spring mixes with a little bit of winter's color properties. So the colors are very pure. They're not dusty at all. Like light spring, neutral season, there's a warm, cool range. And you can see that in the two items that are shown here. Folks often write in and ask, how do I tell if I'm a warm or a cool type of coloring? Well, you can't do it by looking. I don't think anybody really can. You got to compare yourself to a series of warm, warmer, warmest colors and cool, cooler, coolest colors to see which are the best harmony with you and to kind of know what you're looking for. But most people in the world, the other reason it's hard to tell by looking at yourself, is that most people in the world are neutral. They're somewhere in the middle. You got 12 seasons, 12 types of natural coloring, only 4 of them are pure warm or pure cool. So that leaves everybody else in the middle. Probably true of colors anywhere. If you go around and pick up 100 pieces of yellow clothing, it's unlikely that more than about a quarter of them, if that, are going to be out at the extremes. So it's just math, And I don't think the math is perfect because it kind of assumes that seasons are distributed evenly through the population of any particular place that you live. I don't think that's necessarily true, but it's just to help understand why it's very hard to place yourself as warm or cool. Summer yellow is a light, cool pastel. For yellow, cool means greenish because you're adding blue. You don't see orange across this row, nothing compared to the spring row above. Pastel also means soft. It's not sharp or frosty, which would come from being closer to white or having reflections closer to white. That bow is really good. Cool yellow with that softness of gray. The reflections are even soft gray because I think it's kind of suede. The tank is cool, but is it soft enough? I mean, it looks a little icy compared with the bow. Not sure yet. Need more context? Keep it in mind though, we're going to see it again. Light summer, the next one over. Spring is in here, so more pigment than what we saw with the bow, less gray. Compared with true summer, maybe you do see a little bit of peach, but again, nothing like the spring row above. Light summer is just a little bit of spring coming in to blend with summer colors. Soft summer yellow. Yellow is a color that the purer the pigment, the lighter it gets. Blue is the opposite. So as a soft color season, yellows are a touch darker, or they can be, and very soft, definitely visible gray because the parent groups are both soft, summer and autumn both. You know what soft summer yellow reminds me of? Lemon ginger tea. It can be cloudy, it can be watery, but it doesn't have the density of, say pie crust or brass. It's not that kind of yellow-green. It has a water energy to it. And there is a lighter version than the ones what we're seeing here, which we'll see in a little bit. True autumn yellow is orange for the warmth of the added red, or brown, which is dark orange. Darkness is an important property of autumn, which is not to say that all the colors are dark. That's not true for any season, just that here they may go to a darker endpoint. You also see here, this is gold relative to spring's peach up above. Autumn colors may feel brighter than they are because of the warmth of that golden glow, but they're really fairly soft. Soft autumn, a neutral season. Summer is coming in, a little bit of summer, so it's cooling things off a bit, but keeping them very soft. Same warmth level as for light spring up above, but you see that there's a very different energy in terms of the darkness and the softness. There are 3 color properties, and you're always juggling all 3 of them. It's never just about warm or cool. And winter, lemon yellow, could be a trace of red in the yellow, like the blouse on the right. Still cool, though, relative to the other winters. Bright winter, more pigment. Remember when summer and autumn met in the soft seasons? Soft summer, soft autumn was very soft, a lot of visible gray. Here it's the opposite. Winter and spring both have brightness, and so the blended color group has a lot of brightness. A little warm, too. You see the peachy warmth of true spring. And at this high brightness level, the colors feel very warm, warmer than they are because the yellows are so strong. But this is actually a cool neutral color group. Dark winter, the softest of the 3 winters because autumn is coming in to blend with winter here rather than spring. Still a primary yellow. It's still lemony in the cool version. There's also a darker yellow. It looks autumn, and a dark autumn might wear it okay, better than the lemon yellow for sure, but it would be brighter than the rest of their outfit, and it might be quite bright underneath the face too. People either feel very comfortable about yellow or they shy away from yellow, often the cooler seasons, maybe because it's harder to choose and to use than blue. But it is such a happy, alive color. Not wearing any yellow anywhere is kind of like leaving vowels out of your alphabet. Nothing else can do what it does. Visually, that's just how we're wired. Every color kind of says something different to us psychologically. They have this voice, and so our wardrobe says so much more when we have a version of every color in there somewhere. Bags are ideal because they come in any color you can imagine, and they coordinate with outfits, but we don't really see them near our face. Even phone cases we see near our face more often. Plus, the more ways we see something, the better we can understand it. So let's look at the 12 groups again in a new item. True spring, egg yolk, not especially bright, nothing compared with winter. Actually seems a little soft compared with winter. True spring is focused on being warm, a little softer, a little brighter. Oh, the slider moves around a little bit. Light spring, butter, a little bit cooler, still quite clear and lighter than true spring. The hardware here is okay. Light spring wears silver well, and it wears smooth shine well, especially in details, or even in details. Bright spring, more pigment. Winter is coming in brighter than true spring. And when the person wears this, you don't look at it and think, holy cow, that's yellow. It's the only thing I can see. Not at all. It just looks normal. It just looks like, hey, that's a really nice blouse that you're wearing. You look great in it. Neutral season, so warm and cool version of all the colors. Here, cooler in the hat, but you still see the peach. Even in the coolest yellow, you can still see the warmth in it. Too much to fit into the winter row. And then a warmer version in the bag with that so interesting bright rust detail. Just 1 + 1 = 3. You know, that purse is just better for having another color in the same season. Summer, a cool season, fewer yellows to begin with. You can only add so much blue to yellow to cool it before you're into green. Light summer has much more yellow options than true or soft. True summer. Now this is better than the tank in panel 1. There's more yellow pigment, so it doesn't look icy white. Pastels, quite far from white. They're never frosty, not even the lightest ones. The white watch face, well, fine. True summer can make sense of the lightness and the coolness of white. I mean, picture it on true autumn. It would be nowhere for it to find a home. The metal's warmish, but this is small areas, not near the face. And we give a little latitude to accessories. I mean, it's not dark gold or anything, so I think it would work just fine. Light summer, a little bit warmer, less green, more buttery. They have a soft to bright range. Not as clear or warm as the light spring up above, though. And then soft summer, a lot of visible gray, greenish, but that's not lime. It's still yellow. There's a lighter yellow in the front, but it's not creamy. And then as autumn arrives, brushed textures, suede, heavier textiles like leather is great. The metals on the purse in the front, well, it's like the true summer watch. Maybe a satin silver would have been better, but it's not a deal breaker, especially because there is already a little bit of gold in the colors themselves. And the gold in the metal, it's not overheated. True autumn, warmest of the 3 autumns, not very bright. Warm season, so many yellow options in this palette. Yellower options like camel, redder or more orange looking choices too. I love these metals because the darker gold in front and then the embossed gold in the back. Great with the textures of the 2 items and their colors. Soft autumn like soft wheat. Softer than the light spring up above, although it's the same warmth level. Light and dark options because autumn's a darker type of coloring, so yellow will go to a darker place. Dark autumn, redder and greener sides with more pigment than true autumn. It's real magic when colors and textures come together, and nowhere more so than autumn. True winter, lemon rind, that's what I think of. No doubt there are birds and fish with this kind of yellow, but that's mine. My benchmark, you can see the red in the one at the back, but it doesn't have the peachy sweetness of bright winter's similar yellow. That red, it makes the yellow natural. It makes it a human pigment. Meaning if you got blood, you got red, and we can sense it. We can see it coming up through the semi-translucent layers of skin above. And you can see this in people's skin. Yellow without any red in it. Well, we'll see that shortly, and we'll see what effect that has. Bright winter, we get the cooler, lighter yellow, and then the darker, warmer end of the range. Both clear, meaning lots and lots of pigment. You wouldn't call this powdery or dusty. In fact, you can see how soft dark winter is to the right. And it's not powdery either, but it's not as yellow of a yellow. Dark winter, someone gave you that color and asked you to put it into the chart. You would pick the winter row. But from true winter, you're going to go up in pigment to get to bright winter, and you're going to go down to get to dark winter. Let's take a look at each of the main seasons a little closer, and we're going to start with spring. True spring, very warm, moving towards orange, not super bright, it's just medium high in terms of brightness or saturation, whereas true autumn is medium low. The transparency of the stones in the earrings, that is a superb spring effect. It's like water in the Caribbean Ocean. That shiny, luminous quality, that's where you see this clear yellow light. I think gradients, like in the scarf, are beautiful too, same as they are in summer, because the people don't have very bold, big jumps from one color to the next in their features in the way that they're colored. And so it looks beautiful. There's a sweeping feeling. There's this gentle charm to their look. And so it's just beautiful when the colors they wear repeat what they already look like. Light spring, lovely, easy, light yellow, kind of soft daffodil yellow, a hint of warmth. It feels like sweetness. I love in the neutral seasons that they have warm and cool both. We've said to actually wear that in apparel. So here in the fabric of the dress with the cooler yellow band at the hem, or the mix of gold and silver in the bead necklace, I think it just adds to the experience. Bright spring, more yellow than either row above. Cool yellow in the sundress, but that's not lemon rind. The scarf is an orangey yellow, lots of pigment. Also the shine is light and bright. This doesn't feel to me earthy and soft. The scarf has a jeweled quality. Bright rust in the handbag. You know what that makes me think of? A varnished guitar. Just amazing when this color is in the hair or in the eyes. A very intense cider color. About the hat. You're waiting for me to say something about that yellow hat. Does it have a home here? Comparison is how we understand colors. Understanding is knowing what to do. So you're a spring, you're going to buy that hat, you're going to keep shopping. I think I'm going to keep shopping. Now we're on to summer. Not so many yellows for the true cool seasons, true summer, true winter. Less variety in the items. You'll see a few items and they're all basically the same color. In those shoes though, do you see gray or orange? Gray. You see orange or green? Green. You see gray or green? Both. The amazing thing about this though, one of the amazing things, is that when the person wears this color, it doesn't look greenish at all or grayish at all. It just looks like this fresh, clean, beautiful yellow, like this deliciously refreshing lemonade. Light summer in the men's polo shirt is the lighter side of light summer pastels. The colors do not get lighter than this. Pink, blue, whatever it is, it didn't get lighter than this. Maybe their white might. The softness is still there, and there's this airy quality that comes with spring. You don't sense earthy or harvest the way an autumn yellow would, even soft autumn. Prints, like the dress, prints are such a good way to understand colors. You can compare the yellow and see that the true summer yellow is cooler. This is brighter and warmer. But the print colors, the yellow and the green and the red flowers, are softer than the yellow. They may belong to another summer, but they have enough in common. They create a really pretty effect. The shoes go up a notch. This is warmer, more peachy, but still overall cool and light. And so they find some things in common with white, which is also cool and light. And then soft summer, this is where summer mixes with some autumn. Still more summer though. Our lemon ginger tea, another place where you see colors like this, butterfly wings. That dusty, powdery quality, expensive too. A lot of perfumes are this color. Not sure about the metals of this purse. They do look kind of orange, but again, great thing about purses compared with earrings is you don't see them right up against the face. What the soft summer yellow might look like in metals though is in the jewelry item next to the purse. That would be closer to a soft summer yellow. As autumn appears, textures become more woven or knitted. That feeling of interlacing, which looks so good in jewelry when summers wear it. Like here, crochet, suede, they have a color softening effect, but also the 3D effect, like the embossing in the coins, is just enough to give a 3D that makes any autumn thing that much better. How about that hat? Can it find a home in these closets? Could you just slide it into any row and have nobody notice? Well, not if your eyes work like mine. You kind of want to reach out and push it off the screen, so you don't have to look at all these things at the same time, and then your eyes can relax. True autumn, through the center first. I put the trues in the center so you can compare the other seasons back to them. Warm and rich, easy to see the gold in these colors. Gold is deeper, darker, and richer than yellow. Texture's good for autumn, makes color a little darker in the folds, and it softens brightness. Dark and soft, autumn color properties along with warm. The color of light going into an object or a landscape has everything to do with the color that comes back out. And autumn light is long and low from the position of the earth or the sun, or even at the end of the day, long wavelengths coming in at a low angle. So it's kind of like indirect light as opposed to overhead light. And red wavelengths, warmer color, it gives that very flattering, glowing light and these 3D shapes. It's kind of amazing and somehow not amazing that we actually emit this kind of light. Soft autumn in the top row. The pastels of summer are here. You can see in the gown, this is light and this is soft, but there's a powdery feeling rather than an airy feeling, more like a wheat field, let's say, than any variation on rainbows and cotton candy. The yellow is so pretty. Soft autumn looks superb when they wear yellow, I think. I always think it's just one of their prettiest colors. And what's nice about soft autumn yellow, maybe all soft autumn colors, is that these are versions of colors people are comfortable wearing. The pants too, great. Soft autumn often has blue-greens in the eyes or soft oranges, or they may have these kinds of yellows. And so in clothing, it is really so flattering. Dark autumn, the leather jacket, that's among the lightest colors. It's not icy like winter's lightest colors. It's not frosty at all, but it's light relative to the other colors in this season. Similar to the gown in the soft autumn row, but doesn't have the softness. This paint would be opaque. There's no dusty, powdery quality. You don't see a lot of visible gray. And then the blouse in the center, the shine is getting sharper. Winter is here. Colors are starting to move a little bit closer to white. The reflections are brighter. But this is a warm shine because it's coming off of a color that is warm. Shoe, less shiny version. Again, that really beautiful old gold. Not even going to try to put the hat in here. But I do have the tank top over on the right there by itself because I see a lot of autumns attracted to these sunrise, sunset kinds of apricots. They got the right idea. They got the warmth right. But this is a little bit too bright. I don't see this working in outfits. There's no row here that you could quite slide it into without it being the thing people see first and keep going back to. When they wear it, it can look a little bit like you're going to the beach. So the fix is stick with that color, but you do want to soften it down a little closer to what you see the first item in the true autumn row. And then we come to winter. True winter in the center. That faux fur, that could be the icy yellow or the lightest. Not that much between them. Lemon zest. That's what's in my head. The coat, the shoes, just progressions going down the same path. There's some red in this yellow. It's not highlighter yellow-green, which is an artificial color I don't really think humans have. We'll talk about that in a second. The yellow shoes and then the diamonds, it's really good, eh? It's kind of hard to imagine yellow with diamonds maybe, but when the colors are right, this is just so good. Bright winter, a little bit of butter coming into it. This is canary yellow, brighter and warmer, gives it this kind of an innocence almost, considering how bright these colors are, and brighter even than true winter. That's a yellow than you see in true winter. Dark winter, another example of what prints are good for. They can balance things and explain colors to you. Winter colors, we balance black and white. They'll look pretty good with it. It's kind of useful when you're shopping, like in that purse. And plus dark winter's yellow is hard to find. Dark winter and true summer. If you're having trouble finding yellow, well, you're not alone because I'm right there with you. The texture, the top for dark winter. The texture, the overall look and feel, maybe that feels a little bit heavy. But any color can have any texture. It doesn't automatically make it an autumn-influenced color. It's also shiny. Bright spring's got colors like that, and it's a similar brightness season to dark winter. So how are you going to tell? How do you know, am I going to buy this, am I not? Try it with a color that is iconic for your season. If you have a couple of palettes or some items in the store and you're familiar enough with the 12 groups, pick a couple of colors that are very typical for the season that are not similar to one another. You're just trying to push this over to the spring or the autumn side. You don't have to pick the exact colors in the seasons you're comparing to. So here I went around the store and I picked up a top in a bright spring coral up on top, and then I picked a red, used the same color family that looks to me like very dark winter. Which one you're going to wear as the jacket to go with this top? I picked the dark winter. Partly taste preference. It's not going to be a problem, I think, if either color, either season wears it. depending what you wear it with. But I think with the dark winter dot on the bottom, the darker red, with the gold it looks better together. They look richer, they look stronger. The bright spring dot, if that's where the lipstick or the jacket, it looks a little bouncy, it looks a little hard maybe to take seriously. Apply it, make this work for you in your life. You're not going to think your way to it. You're not going to imagine your way to what's going to happen when colors come together. Same as you're not going to imagine your way to what happens when you're going to wear certain colors. You're going to have to do it and then see what happens then. Then we got a couple of example things to look at. So in the top right, you see the shoes. Yellow type of summer heel, probably true summer. There's visible gray. It's a cool yellow. Then there's that sleeveless top again from panel 1. That true summer that I said might be a little bit icy. Would you be able to put that into the true winter row and not have anyone really react to it? I could. I think that it would be reasonable enough. So this might be one of those colors that either season could wear. In the center of those items over on the right hand side, we said we were going to talk about synthetic yellow, highlighter yellow, because you can make this extremely yellow-green color. But I think it's a synthetic yellow because there's no red in it. If you got blood, people can see it on the surface. It's mixing with your other colors. Human pigments don't make you squint. But this would make me squint. You could find these very acidic yellow greens in some of the true winter palettes. And if anyone is going to wear them with outfits, it's going to be true winter. But I don't see it as the best interpretation of their yellow, particularly in larger area or worn near the face. As an accent, a purse, a stripe down a warm-up jacket, a button, absolutely. There's our hat again. It's not highlighter acidic, but it's close. Too clear for dark winter. Hats, hair, umbrellas. The position, the place that we wear these items means that it's going to frame the face. So you really want to pick the prettiest halo. If the colors in the light you already emit have this kind of yellow, then you're going to do just fine. I'd pick true winter or bright winter. Before leaving yellow today, I wanted to look at one more application, which is jewelry or gold. The color of the metal, you want it to be able to slide into the yellow strip of your palette or a closet full of items with these yellows in it so that it has continuity with the yellows in you. There is a link at Chrysalis Color on choosing gold for your skin tone. I'll put that in the description box. And here, the legend, the words down the left-hand side, that refers to the items of clothing. So spring on the top, the watch for bright spring, the teardrop earrings for bright and true, very shiny and very yellow. The little diamonds with the cooler gold, that could be light spring, could be maybe any spring. You don't have to wonder why these things would go together. In the second row, that sweater could be true summer or the cool side of light summer. Between the silver and the gold earrings, I picked the silver. The hoops, the yellow looks kind of orange next to that sweater, whereas the silver, it's sharper, it's cleaner, the shape is easier to see, and it has even some continuity with the tones in the sweater. Same kinds of grays. The yellow's not too warm for light summer though, in the hoops with the pearls. You can see similar tones through the two items. The wider chunky hoop off to the side, that would be really good for soft summer. Same pearlescent, diffused kind of satin reflectivity. And even without having a soft summer colored item in the row, those earrings fit here best. What other row would you put them into? The third row is autumn. Those disc earrings, soft autumn. Hard to slide them into any other world here. Center earrings, dark autumn, true autumn. A warm gold, a redder gold like true spring, but deeper, richer, darker color. The bracelet has bronze tones, that greenish maybe, brassy kind of color, probably dark autumn, like those old gold shoes we saw a couple panels back. The stones in the bracelet don't make a strong impression, but the metal, like the soft summer earrings in the row above, even without an item in the row of the same season, you can see that there's a continuity here. Metals, they don't really need to be perfect as long as they're in the same season or group, or if you're a neutral season, could go into either group because they're small and we see them as an accent item, so we give them a little bit more play or a little bit more latitude. The winter row is broken up a bit. That yellow cardigan, it is venturing into highlighter territory, but it makes the point of, my opinion, strong, cool yellows and not very compatible with gold. It's this feeling of repelling magnets. Either it's hard to see the gold next to the person's skin. This is just true winter, not the other winters. Or the gold looks yellow and darker than it is, not in an expensive way. It somehow maybe looks tarnished. Silver's fine though. Black is fine. Those are both easy. And then if we move over, we'll see the gold earrings with the bright winter yellow slingback. Those are pretty compatible. And it's a chunky diamond, not little tiny little stones. And primary red in the earring. Both of those help bring it closer to the winter season. Compared, let's say, with the gold hoop with the pearl up in the summer row, I think it would just get lost in the brightness of the clothing colors, the saturation of the gold, and therefore the person's colors, because they're all links in the same chain. One application that we didn't touch on today is how yellow applies to hair color. Well, how you react to colors, how you react to it, wherever you happen to put it. And so you can use some of the yellow ideas in the examples above for what your color of highlights would be. But yellow is also a unique kind of color. It has a unique psychology and a chemistry all its own. And so by all means, you can generalize using your season, because that is your code for how you react to color. But hair color also has particular things like, what's your natural darkness level? What are your eye colors? What is your natural hair color? Because like lipstick, hair color is being applied to an area that is already pigmented and is going to have an effect on the final outcome. So hair color is a one person at a time kind of decision. Hope that you'll go to my Pinterest boards, everybody's Pinterest boards. Look at the clothes, the makeup, the landscapes. Think about what it is that forms those relationships. What is the common light going into this world, and what is the radiance coming back out again? And as you start to acquire more and more items in your colors, the colors of the leaves on your tree, your closet does that. 1 + 1 = 100, because you're picking up all this speed. Everything's building on everything else. A lot of folks will open the Pinterest board window on one side of the screen and their shopping window on the other side of the screen. See if you can move the item right into the board, and nobody would ever notice the difference. And I just pinned a lot of springtime yellows, all linked back to current retail for the 12 seasons. Anything you want to talk about? Okay, ask me, tell me in the comments. I'd love to have a conversation with you. And as always, thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you next time.